One pitch away. Hoffman sets 2-2 to Julio Rodriguez. In the dirt, full count. If you think you're anxious, Cal Raleigh is begging to get a shot in the on-deck circle. He would be the go-ahead run. Full count, 2 outs, top of the ninth. Game 7 of the ALCS. Hoffman's payoff pitch. He got it! The Blue Jays win the pennant! The Blue Jays win the pennant! They're going to the World Series! It's so good, we must be dreaming! The Toronto Blue Jays come back, knock off the Mariners, and they will take on the LA Dodgers!
And now, Giant Sports Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Eric and Glenn.
We're talking Giants every day. From McCovey Cove to the Oracle Park Lights, Eric and Glenn keep the fire burning bright, fighting for the glory, no matter what it costs us, breaking down the moments from the wins to the losses. Giant Sports Talk, we're here for the ride. Eric and Glenn with the fan base pride, talking dreams, will they contend? But we'll back the Giants till the very end. Let's go, Giants! Yes, yes, yes! Oh! Eric and Glenn breaking it down, all Giants all the time.
All right, welcome to Giants Sports Talk Live, where we're talking playoff baseball, Glenn. Game 7 is in the books. Holy, what a game. You played the clip. I'm guessing that was from the Toronto radio broadcast. Is that what it was from?
Sportsnet 590 The Fan, the voice of the Toronto Blue Jays. What a finish just minutes ago, Eric. They win it on one swing of the bat, and the Blue Jays do what they do. Get them on, drive them in, Eric.
There you go. Lou, our good friend Lou joins us. Going to talk about this Game 7. And again, it was exactly what you want for in a Game 7. All the dramatics, and it came down to, towards the end, how were the managers going to determine which arms were going to come in, right? Because once you saw Bieber and Kirby threw a lot of pitches, you knew they weren't going to make it through. Who were the respective managers going to go to seal the deal? And, man, I tell you what, you had some late game heroics from George Springer. And it all began with a walk. Lou, how many times have we talked about leadoff walks? My God, how about that?
In the playoffs, they kill you. It's just like shutdown innings. It's the most amazing thing. I think I heard a stat during the playoffs. A leadoff walk comes in like 83% of the time of the runs scored are leadoff walks. I mean, it's death. You got to do whatever you can. Let the guy hit it. Just don't give him a free pass. And, Game 7 has everything and all these things. And I know we'll talk more about the pitching, and the managers, what they do. But this was probably one of the best series in a long time. This sort of reminded me of the Yankees and Red Sox, where you didn't know what was going to happen until the final out. And what I thought was great is for Seattle, their two studs stepped up. And Toronto, I mean, it's sort of funny. Before we started here, me and Eric thought the same thing. If you saw the game yesterday, I thought he broke his knee. And, you think, oh, my God. And you said, you know what, Lou? This reminds me of Kurt Gibson. The guy could barely walk. You're thinking, because it was loud last night. And all of a sudden, he hits the second pitch, and it was a no-doubter, which was even more dramatic. And, Toronto deserves it. I think the one great thing is people don't know, because I do follow a lot of puck. Their fans have been disappointed. I know they won it a while back, and I know, basketball, they won it, but they're really more of a baseball and a hockey town. And I think what's really dramatic is people forget Seattle and Toronto came into the league at the same time. So they actually have their own built-in rival. And it's sort of an amazing thing. And this was a dramatic 7-game series. And this is what, I'm sort of glad we have 4 days off before the World Series because, imagine we're just broadcasting it because we love the game. Imagine if we had a team involved. But
right.
I thought it was one for the ages.
It was awesome. Glenn, what were you? You had to been on the edge of your seat because it was a close game all throughout. And then Seattle added on just very little. Here you got a solo shot by Rodriguez, right? You got a solo shot by Cal Raleigh. It's 3-1. You're getting late in the game. You're still in it. I mean, what were you thinking?
Geez, I don't know about you guys, but I wasn't thinking so much about catching up, getting back in the game. I mean, it was a 3-1 ball game, and I knew with this team that can hit the ball for an average, Eric, they could score runs. Even down 3-1, I was more concerned about what they were going to do coming out of the bullpen the remainder of the game. I knew that.
Yes.
Can you imagine, Eric? I said to you on last night's show, if we saw Brandon Little again before the end of this series, it would be none too soon. I'm telling you, just park him out there, give him a little stool, give him a clipboard, let him do what they do with those clipboards, Eric. But don't bring him anywhere near the mound. And you know what? He changed his philosophy. Dude, from game 5 to game 7, manager just turned around and did what had to be done, played the right guys at the right time.
Hey, are they booing them now?
You can't be playing Brandon Little in the situation like he did in game 5. I told you they were calling for his head up here, but he played the right matchups, Eric, and that was the difference. And when you see Springer hit the home run, Eric, what had Dan Wilson done? He just went to the bullpen.
He did.
So
look, he had the lead, right?
Moves. I think,
yes.
Lou, what do you think? I think bullpen moves cost you more than they help you.
They can.
Well, again,
unless your name's not Bruce Bochy.
Again, here it is. He retired 28 straight batters. And then his second pitch, he gives up the homer. That's all you think about. Then he gave up the single after. It's so amazing how the baseball, because really every game and every inning is different. You have a guy who's retired 28 straight. You got to feel confident. But if you saw where that pitch was, I mean, it was right down the alley, and every game is different, and until you really pitch in game 7, you don't know the pressure. And what I really like tonight is you had a real with John announcing. He knows how it is to be in a game 7. He kept talking, hey, there's 12 outs left. How are these players going? And that's what great announcers do is they make you feel on both teams. He doesn't care who wins. He just wants game 7 to be memorable. But I thought it was very well done. And, I think what's sort of nice about this is, hey, he hit the big homer. Nobody talks about he cheated, with Houston. This was pure him on one leg. And it, just gives him a little pat on the back. Hey, they signed him for a reason. And he came through. And that's really what you want when you get a guy that's done it before. You've done it because he comes through. He came through with one of the biggest hits in the last 30 years. So I'm happy for him there.
And you know what? I don't know if you guys get the same, they only have so many cameras in there, right? So I'm getting Dan Shulman and Buck Martinez calling the game. Nothing better, in my opinion.
Shulman's the best.
So I'm watching that feed. And did you guys get the same video angle, the launch of the ball? They showed the home run from the umpire's camera.
Yeah, we
They
saw
did
that.
show that. They
And it
We
showed
saw
it.
that
It was like
after
a rocket.
the fact.
It just was
Yeah.
like, it
Yeah.
was like a rocket launch, wasn't it?
Yeah,
Holy smoke.
Glenn, we saw that when they showed the replay. It wasn't initial,
Yes.
but you saw it, and it was out immediately.
It was just a
Titanic.
beautiful thing. Beautiful thing. There's something about playoff baseball in that ballpark too, Eric. It's just the atmosphere. For as Lou said, I mean, Lou, no offense, but I've been to Toronto, I don't know how many times in my life, over and over and over, but more than you can count. And it's a hockey town with the Leafs they haven't won the Stanley Cup since 1967. They sell out the Toronto Argonauts. They love their Raptors. But remember, is baseball really Canadian? Nah. How many players in the history of the game have even come from Canada? But they have grown to love this team. They get big crowds during the year. Their crowds during the regular season would embarrass the San Francisco Giants, Lou, on a Monday and Tuesday night. I'll tell you that. But it's an exciting time of the year.
And like I said, I think the fans deserve it. I mean, they were the first ones to ever do, as I call it, sort of what they started at Wimbledon and the U.S. Open tennis, where they would have the hockey game and they would have just as many people outside of the stadium watching the videos in that little area. And
that is big in Canada.
NBA. And you got to remember, this team sold out every single hockey game. And they didn't make the playoffs for 26 years. It was sort of ridiculous because every team seems to make it in hockey. Finally, they made it. And I think this win's a little bit better because of the tough losses the hockey fans have been through. You know, the last couple of years, they were up 3-1. They were up 3-0, and they lost both series. And, you know, I just think it's one of those things. You know, the one thing is Glenn, I'm going to give you a little trivia question. And Eric, you, and maybe in the chat. But one of my favorite players who really doesn't get much credit, hit his 500th homer as a Toronto Blue Jay. Does anybody know who hit his 500th homer as a Toronto Blue Jay?
Ooh.
Paul Molitor? I've got to think of somebody who's big.
Hold on.
I didn't.
Dave Winfield.
Nope.
Ooh.
Now they might have, but that's not the guy I'm thinking of.
Ricky Hendricks. No, Ricky didn't hit 5.
Who would have 500 home runs?
Should I give
Not
you a
Joe
hint?
Carter.
One of his other teams he played for?
Yeah, let's hear. Yeah.
I don't want to give you his main team, so he also played for the Oakland A's.
500 home runs.
Not Canseco.
It's 500th homer.
Canseco.
No, it's not.
No?
I can't think of it.
Hold on. That's a good question, Lou. That's a good question, man. And if Oakland's not even it's not his real team, so to speak.
His first team is
Reggie. Reggie.
Yeah.
So let me get this straight.
I give you a hint. He's got a very unique
Did he hit it while playing for the Jays?
Wait, hold on. He's got a very unique what?
nickname.
Oh, jeez.
And I'll give you one last. He does a commercial now with Doug Flutie.
Oh, the Big Hurt.
There you go.
No kidding, Frank
Big
Thomas.
Hurt.
No kidding. I never knew that. Look at that.
Hey guys,
That
just
is
by the way,
nice.
the Dodgers
I wouldn't
are
have-
minus
And let me say,
220 in the
Really?
series,
Okay.
220.
All
let me say, I wouldn't have got that. How about you, Eric?
You know, Glenn,
I
it was
wouldn't have
just
got it
something
without the hint. I would
came
never
across.
have
I wanted
thought
to
Big
throw
Hurt.
it. But no, hey, you know what? I think Toronto, you know, I think it's been a while, great fanfare, and I think it sort of makes the World Series a little bit better now. You know, USA against Canada, a team that can hit, should be exciting. Toronto now is going to get games 1, 2, 6, and 7, with the Dodgers being a big favorite. Anything can happen. So, you know, Friday night, let's get it going.
There you go, man. I tell you what, it's going to be. What do you think are their chances of the Blue Jays? Me and Glenn were talking about this, Lou. Do you like your chances of the Blue Jays giving the Dodgers a fight? I don't know if they'll be able to win 4 against them, but I'm guessing that there's going to be some competition there. The pitching, I'm a little concerned about, but the hitting, I think they should be able to get to the Dodgers pitchers now.
I think 2 things. It's not till Friday So pitching will catch up.
Yeah.
You're not going to have to worry about anything. I think big advantage. Here's the other thing. How are the Dodgers going to respond, especially game one, where they're not going to be playing for 6 days? And it's different because they're sitting at home. Now they got to go to the East Coast. Again, these are small things. They're professionals, not like they fly, Southwest or something. They're flying private jets. But still, it's all stuff where, a lot of times teams just, game one, as we saw, it might not mean anything, but you never know, because now I think what's most important, Eric, is you're talking about the starters. Obviously, Toronto's probably going to come back with Gosman because he just did his normal work today. He's going to get 4 days off till Friday. And now, when you look at it, we all talked about how great the Dodger pitching is.
Mm-hmm.
Snell's not going to pitch now for 10 days. How is he going to respond back?
That's a good point.
So it's just one of those things. And that's sort of why the World Series, again, the way these baseball playoffs are going, I think the average person says, oh, Dodgers in 5. But this thing's been so unpredictable and so exciting. And, it's one of those things where, I really miss the Giants not being in it. But at the same time, boy, us just having fun on this show. I mean, obviously, Glenn, he's a big Blue Jays fan, and, I'm happy for him and everything.
Closet fan. Don't go crazy now.
I think it's one of those things. I just wanted Toronto because I had him to win the series. So, the money
I had the Jays.
Yeah.
I had the Jays and the Dodgers.
I also want a good World Series. If the Dodgers are going to win it, I want them to earn it. If not, I want a great team. And I think Toronto has had such a great year. They can get one more series victory. And I'm excited. Friday night. Let's get it on.
Hey, I'm going to ask you a question, Glenn. Two things here. Dan Schneider went to Gosman, and then he went to Bassett. What did you think of those moves? I thought that was a bit risky going to freaking Gosman. So
no, Eric, they had to do that. The
Toronto what about Bassett,
Blue Jays do not have a bullpen that can hold. The Blue Jays bullpen, Eric, is average. I don't even call it adequate.
I hear you.
That will be a factor. You talk about, hey, you always say the Dodgers don't have a bullpen. Well, this could be an evenly maxed World Series because this is what the Jays had to do. And I gotta jump ship for a second here. You know what, Lou? When you come on board with us, I just want you to know that this is the only show, my friend, where you have to you make your comments, and then the peanut gallery, known as the chat over here,
that's all good.
They'll call you out, Lou, with no understanding whatsoever. They fly off. They're like little butterflies. They're like little butterflies. They're fluttering around, Lou. I got to tell you, Val Ramos. So I said to you, Lou, a few minutes ago that the place is rocking in Toronto in a what we'll call a meaningless game in July, August, on a Monday night or a Tuesday night up there at the Rogers Center. And of course, Val Ramos has to come in. What you
just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard.
Of course. He says, come on, Glenn, Toronto is a bigger stadium. Now, listen, see, they're critical, Lou. Eric, you know this as good as I do, having been around this show for over a year. The capacity at the Rogers Center. Actually, we'll start with Oracle Park, Lou. It's 42,300. Val, Rogers Center, the seating capacity is 39,150. That is, I know you don't understand the math very well, but that is actually like 39,150 is smaller than 42.3. Just want to point that out for you.
The hotel rooms too. Is that part of the attendance?
That's the all seating. It's everything, Lou. It's everything.
And what is the Dodger Stadium? Isn't it like 55? Yeah, I see RJ 60. Is it 60?
Yeah,
I know it's in the 59.
You take the heat, Lou. Last night they were coming after me. Tonight but I always say, if you're going to come after someone,
okay,
the gun's got to be loaded. Don't come at me with a
Were you okay, Glenn, with Bassett Chris Bassett? Did you like him coming into the game? That was a bit of a risk. Guys,
no,
not exactly.
He's a former reliever, Eric.
Chris Bassett? I thought he was
Bassett was a former reliever turned into a starter. So I had no problem with the Blue Jays going with the pitching that they had.
Pretty sure. Okay, cool. Hey, I was just wondering because I was like, man, that's pretty ballsy that he's not going to his quote unquote bullpen arms and he's going to starting pitchers to get the job done. I found that one a little bit, hey, risky.
No,
if anything else, it was risky.
Dude, he could not. Schneider could not back himself into another corner after that move in game 5.
That's fair. But on the same token, if Gosman failed or if Bassett failed, he would have got the same ridicule because you're going to something that's not normal. That's not going to your quote high leverage guys in a game 7. So it could have easily backfired by doing that because sometimes when you go to a starter, it gets a little weird. But it worked out for the Blue Jays. Hey, look at that, man. They're going on to go play the Los Angeles Dodgers. I should say the Dodgers are coming to Toronto to play.
You know what I if I'm projecting what this series is going to look like, guys, the Blue Jays and the Dodgers really are cut from very, very similar cloth. They've got one or two bangers. And I mean, if you just do a complete matchup of their lineup, a guy like you got Barger. Well, they got Kike Hernandez. Mm-hmm. And you take, let's say, Ernie Clement. And what would you compare him to? Ernie would be compared to like the Dodgers third baseman.
Muncy?
Yeah.
Muncy, yeah.
They're I think their footing is really equal when it comes to the hitting.
Here's the question.
You got Shohei.
How about this one?
Kirk. You got Mookie who can put the
Will Bichette be on the World Series
There
roster?
You go. Bichette is going to be
what am I saying?
Maybe that's what they do. Maybe that Bichette comes in, and one bullpen pitcher we've spoken of is out. I'm just saying somebody's got to sit. Poor fella. You give up one bad pitch.
I know it happens. Hey, unfortunately that happens. I mean, but that's going to be huge. It makes that lineup.
Just ask Bill Buckner.
It makes that lineup a little bit stronger if you're going to have Bichette. Now, granted, he's been out for a little while, but he's got his legs will be fresh. His eye may not exactly be there, so he's gonna. I would not be surprised if the guy's taking BP or doing something to get his to keep his high hand-eye coordination.
Again, he's got 4 days.
Yeah, there you go, Lou.
4 days.
But on the other side of that ledger, Eric, I don't know how you guys feel. Bo is Bo, right? Bo is Bo. But look what they've done. They've managed to get to the World Series without him. Is putting him into the lineup, taking somebody out, tinkering, and what happens? They go 0 for 4. They get swept, Eric. People are going to say, why did you fuck around with the lineup? Why did you fix what was winning? And no, you know what? One thing, let's just backtrack. One thing nobody in the show and nobody in the chat that I've noticed, no one has brought up the fact, Eric, that not once, but twice in this series alone, twice, the Jays had to come back from 0-2 deficits in the series. They were down 0-2. They had to win 2 in a row. They did. They were equal to the occasion. So now I'm going to go on it might be a little thin limb, but I'm going to crawl out on a limb, Eric, way up on the tree. And I'm going to say that at least it's going to be a close series, this World Series 2025.
Nice. And when you mean by close, are you saying like game 7 or 6 or something like that?
Yeah, I think this could be a lot, but I don't think you may get high scoring games. You might get low score one way or the other. I think it could be 8-7.
Close.
7-6,
You're going to say they're close.
I think it's going to be a close series though. What do you think, Lou?
Yeah, I think it at least goes 6. I think the thing we don't really talk a lot about is, and I think you just said it there, is Toronto's shown a lot of grit, and this team can hit. And the one thing about Toronto is the first 2 games and maybe early in the playoffs, they weren't really hitting. But
no, they weren't.
They're like a machine, as we bought up. They have guys that are willing to do whatever you can. 8, 9, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 have just been phenomenal.
Yeah.
It's just one of those things. And I personally think it's a lot different when you're facing the Reds where they really have like one stick. And then, when they went last round, they went against Milwaukee. I mean, you got to remember Milwaukee's best player was 1 for 19. This team's not like that. They have
No,
3
it's
or
not.
4 big boppers. So I'm expecting, 5-4, 7-5 games. And if they're high-scoring games, that's where Toronto can win it. If they're low-scoring, then you got to give the advantage to the Dodgers because obviously that means their pitching's going. But again, as you know, every pitching performance goes by the series you played in. And we talked about this before. You see a pitcher pitch 8 innings, gives up 3 hits, 1 run. When you got to go against a team again, they never duplicate it. It's like a guy that pitches a no-hitter or a perfect game. 90% of the time, he gets shellacked the next time.
The next game, yeah.
The next game. So I just think Toronto, first of all, it's going to be off the hook Friday night, Toronto. The way it goes, 2-3-2. Toronto definitely, they can get 1. They went opening game, anything's possible, but I expect it to be a high, fun, and very entertaining game. And when we keep learning this baseball playoffs, there's nothing like it, and we have no competition. I mean, It's just phenomenal. And when you think baseball, you expect something different, and that's what's been given us. And that's why these baseball playoffs have been phenomenal. So I expect it to be whatever we say, probably the opposite of the logic, and I can't wait.
And there we go. And that could be a fact here in the next couple of days. Ohtani will definitely be on an airplane heading to Toronto. How about that, huh? Remember that crap a couple of years ago there, Glenn, in the off season?
John Hyman, again, his finest.
No, it was Morrissey.
Oh, was it Morrissey?
It was Morrissey tweets out, Shohei Ohtani is on a plane to Toronto. Oh, my God.
Hey, Shohei! That was Shohei there, Eric. Just waved at you. We're getting an early start over to Toronto. Get ready for the series, Eric.
Oh, man, but I tell you, and Lou, to piggyback on what you said, man, I tell you, these playoffs, all the way up to now we're getting to the eve of the World Series. Awesome games, man. Awesome games. Gosh dang. We had some blowouts, you had some tight games, you had a 15-inning game. I mean, it was fun, man. I really enjoyed these playoffs. And look, more to come with the World Series that's going to start on Friday. Man,
and I
think
Eric,
nothing like it, right? Nothing like it. Postseason baseball, nothing like it. World Series baseball, nothing like it. Giants baseball, nothing like it. Give me a break. Time to change up that whole philosophy.
And I've never seen the last couple of nights, Game 6 and Game 7. I think there might have been 8 double plays. The games had the tensions, the double plays. I mean, even though when Toronto had first and third with no out, trying to get the late inning insurance run was another double play, a line shot, and I just thought these games were, again, it's a lot easier when you're not a fan of the team, but just so dramatic. Every inning sort of told a story, and I'm just really glad that, Toronto, for everything they went through, and it just wasn't Seattle's year. They still had a great year, but you got to give breaks to Toronto. They earned it. They didn't. Seattle didn't lose it. Toronto earned it. And I think that's the key.
Yeah.
Hey, I like that. I like that. Yes, they earned it. It wasn't given to them. They had to go out there and fight and claw and be able to get it done. And look, the heroics of George Springer was just unbelievable. I saw Ibrahim had a nice a comment out there talking about the veteran. He came through, man. That's the reason why you got guys like George Springer on the team. He's been through this before. That helps. And it was great to be able to see him come out and contribute. Well, the boos are going to be raining down on him in LA because of his association with the Astros.
Should I go to the game this weekend?
Hey, if you want to, go for it.
Tickets go on sale.
How much are they? A couple of thousand?
No, the first batch. If I can get in, tickets go on sale in 10 hours. Yeah, I'll see what happens, Eric.
Oh, look at Glenn. Glenn wants to go to Toronto. Oh, shit. That would be awesome.
It's only a 2-hour flight.
The World Series is run by the major leagues. So even just like get-ins and everything probably start 250, but it's the World Series. Doesn't matter.
That would be awesome. Hey, Glenn, do you
live,
go for
live
it, man?
report? Live report? Are you going to go live?
Only on Giant Playoff Sports Talk Live.
I I assume the budget shouldn't be a problem. You probably have your own photographer and mic guy.
Yeah,
while you're
your own
there. I love it.
airplane.
No,
Hey.
I'm the salesman, the photographer.
Nice. Hey,
I have
you know
to.
what?
I have to
Hey.
warming that up now, Eric. That's me.
Hey, on your
Eric.
way to go get you. On your way to go get. Hey, why not? Why not go get one of those hotel rooms and broadcast live with Rogers Center in the background? Why not?
Jeez, Bernice will kill me. Remember, I have my scouting assignment begins the next week, the next Friday.
Oh yeah.
I'm in
Oh,
Mexico.
Glenn,
on
you
a
got-
scouting trip.
Glenn, you got to
with
remember
Tommy
about Eric. I mean, I don't know if you're looking at Eric's shirt. That's the type of car he drives. I don't know if you see
Oh,
his
the
shirt.
rules. Yeah.
Oh,
Rolls
I
Royce.
know.
He's got his own driver. That's why I thought maybe you might have your own mic guy.
Oh no,
We all
Lou.
can't be like Eric.
Yeah.
I need Eric. If I were going to give Eric a job, I'd get Eric to come out. Eric, you know what you'd have to do? I'll do the interviews, but you got to hold the big boom mic, the big stick and fuzzy at the end.
Am
the
I
big
the grip?
hand fuzzy.
The grip. I'm the grip.
Yeah, the big fuzzy. I love seeing those on
Oh,
TV. And then I think one of the political, they hit him with it.
Yeah.
Eric, you got to be pro now. You got to
Hey,
be
why
pro.
not?
Hey, that would be fun if I head over there this week. I'll see if it's in the it's in the budget. I don't know if I can get away.
That would be
Dude, you
something
got to get a
that would be cool.
hotel room like this side
I
of
know.
Hamilton, probably. I don't know. We'll see. I'm gonna look at it. Take a serious look in the morning. See what I. Come on up, Lou. I know one thing. No matter where I sit in the stadium, it won't be as good as front row, Eric.
Mm-hmm.
You know, when we attend a ball game with our old pal Lou Marsden. You know, I won't be sitting at the dugout at Rogers. Sure.
That was so
Thanks,
damn
Lou.
awesome. God, that was awesome. That would be awesome.
Lou, what can you do for the World Series, pal?
It's so funny because today
Give me 25 tickets for the World Series. Eric and
by
me
the
and
Toronto-
all
by
the fans are
Toronto-
coming with us.
We're at left. So, Glenn, here's the funny part. Today, as you know, they had a big problem with AWS. So a lot of fans couldn't get into the ballpark until they figured out the Ticketmaster thing. Even though you had a ticket, you couldn't go to the ballpark because you couldn't get your ticket on Ticketmaster. Big screw up on AWS. I mean, we were affected here because I had to send some tickets to one of my clients. But, I think, hey, anytime you get a chance to go to the World Series game, you got to go. I mean, it may never, ever happen again. And in that venue, it'll be rocking. And, as Eric would do, Glenn, why don't you just call the Rogers Center and see if one of the hotel rooms are available and you can just stay at the ballpark.
Yeah.
And then you don't need a ticket. You can watch it from your hotel room. And
There you go.
just pull the curtain.
Lou, my plan is to call the Rogers. I'm going to call the Blue Jays tomorrow. I'm going to use Eric's name.
There you go, man.
That'll get me in the door. That takes me places.
There you go.
That will get you kicked out of the country.
I've already done that, but on this side. So.
Hey, you got connections with the Rogers, right? There you go. Connections.
EWM, we did have the tickets, but for what we were getting offered, we sold them in 2010. That paid for 2011 and 12 season. We sold 2012. 2 of the games. I went to one of the games, but the first 2 games are the games that everyone wants to go to. Basically paid for the next 4 years. It's hard. Those seats, and it's I have guys that are saying, hey, don't go on StubHub. We'll give you, $5,000 cash. So unfortunately, not my family. I was just like giving to my dad, and that was how it was.
That was like my Caitlin Clark. It was like my Caitlin Clark tickets. If she had played at the Chase Center, I could have paid for next year's season tickets easily and had a little extra. People were at least big. I don't know. And I'm not rubbing elbows, just so you know, Lou. I'm just a peasant. I'm not like I'm. This is the kind of I hold court with these guys.
Oh man!
Although I'm sure if I went to the Rogers Center and throw out the name Rob Dizzle, somebody'd say, "You know him? You know Robbie."
Oh man!
Anyway,
that's good stuff.
Eric, I know it's gonna. Let's do it.
I know. Hold on.
What?
Because we haven't heard Lou. I think I know where you're going. Was that? Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. That's fine. I'm good with that.
Oh, I thought you guys were going to go over the game today and your sponsors.
No, we'll do the sponsors later. But
okay. I thought today's.
Technically, Lou, they don't sponsor playoff Sports Talk Live, but that's my out if they ever bitch.
But I thought today being Game 7, it lived up to everything and more.
It did. It was
What's
awesome.
your prediction? What do we expect in the series, and what do you think happens after both teams get a bit of a break?
I'm going to go 4-2 Blue Jays.
Whoa! Wow! 4-2 Blue Jays.
For the series, you mean?
Yeah.
Game 6.
I'm gonna go 4-2. 4-2. Maybe I think the Jays should be able to win 2. I'll go 4-2 Dodgers.
Okay. I'm gonna say it goes Game 7, and Toronto takes it 4-3.
I just don't think what are the Dodgers in their last 15? 1-4, 14-1 or 13-1.
What's that mean?
Due.
What's that mean?
Due.
They're due. They're due. 100%.
Yeah, but everybody bitches in our chat that they're not. No, they don't win the World. They get to the playoff. They never win the World Series. Eric, I guess they're due. They only won last year. They're due. So you can twist everything, Eric.
Of course, absolutely.
What do you think, Eric?
4-3.
4-3
goes Game 7. I think it's Toronto.
Oh, Game 7, yeah, 4-3, 4-2, and 4-2.
But we got 2.
As long as it's good baseball, right, Lou? Right, Eric? Yeah. As long as it's
it's good baseball.
Lights was dandy.
Honestly, I have no.
I mean, the playoffs have been phenomenal. Just let this be the icing on the cake, and I want every game to be close. I don't want any blowouts. I just want real good baseball. And then you see the chat and real Giants fans how far away we are of getting a ring. Because all we talk about, the Dodgers are paying for it. Well, if Toronto beats them, better to win next year. And if, the Dodgers win and Toronto goes in, you know what? They're so close. And, it's one of those things. I mean, I think sort of like, being a sports fan, and especially a baseball fan, and you look at your home team, you realize how much work and how far behind you are of some of these teams.
Don't panic. Oh, gosh. You know what? I guess we might as well get this done. That's where I thought you were going to go here.
We'll be able to turn it around and compete with the Dodgers of the world, Eric, Lou. Once we're only days away. We sign a manager who's got experience. You got to have experience. Got to be a guy with experience, can control the dugout, a veteran. Give me veteran leadership, and maybe
what? There's a new name in the mix, by the way.
Jesus Christ.
There's a new name.
Who now?
Oh, hold on. I'll show you. Who it is.
One thing about Tony Vitella that nobody's talking. Hey!
Tony is going to be the next San Francisco Giant. Everyone's clamoring for someone who motivates people.
There you go.
Who gets the best out of people. Who will get he will not only motivate them in playing some damn good baseball, he's going to motivate them in other parts of their lives. This is going to, yes, Tony is going to be the pick. It don't matter.
The other Tony.
Experience doesn't matter, guys. It doesn't matter if he had MLB experience. Come on, man. He's going to be absolutely perfect for the San Francisco Giants. Tony is the man.
So, Eric and Glenn, I heard a little thing today about Mr. TV, Tony Vitella. So he makes $3.2 million a year at Tennessee. Okay. Yeah. He gets also an additional $1 million NIL deal to recruit. So to go to the major leagues that you've never done, you're going to probably have to pay him $5 for him to leave, because it's a bigger job. Recruiting players where you have NIL money is one thing, but now you're going to have to deal with egos. He only had to do two post-game shows a week. You're going to have to do 5 pre-games, 5 post-games. You're going to have to do bullshit on the commercial leader. It's a big step.
There's a lot of things. Yeah.
So Lou, did you hear Eric talking about it last night on the show at all? I don't know if you caught any of our.
No, I'm sorry. I was at.
If you caught any of our act, I think it was Act 3 last night. We were bringing up that very topic only because it was being talked about so much in our chat. We think it's got to be a guy with got to have experience. Got to have
Yeah,
experience.
he's going to have.
And,
He's going to have
if
to
Buster
bench
Posey
coach
makes
and
this
another
move,
manager has done it.
if Buster makes this move and it's All-Star break next year, and we're 14 games out, everybody's like, "Well, we can make another change." I go, then the change is going to be Buster Posey.
Yeah. No, I think Tony, if he does do it, he's going to need a bench coach with experience and probably a first and third base coach with experience that are really going to have to carry him until he gets his, because it's a lot different.
Well, it's okay.
SEC coaching SEC
Eric?
baseball and Major League
Yeah.
are like being the Giants players that are good AAA and actually being a clutch player in the Major League. It's a big difference. And, he's a young guy. It's a big difference with your family. The pressure is beyond belief. And,
Yes.
I think it could be one of these things where if it falls apart, Buster's going to be known for being the president of operations and failing in 2 years and making the team worse. And then you're going to have a lockout, and he's not going to he's going to have the credit as a player, but he's going to be like all these other guys that have tried to do more than just be a player, go into the upper management and fail, and it's happened to a lot. I mean, nothing wrong with it. I think he just sort of is. Right now, he put himself on the sword, and it's slowly starting to go through his stomach and going to come up the other way if he fails.
Hey, Lou, something that Eric said, and
Yeah.
Eric and I talked about last night. I'm on to what you're talking about, and I agree with you to a point, but it's ass backwards. What you're saying about if you hire Vitello and you put more what we'll call senior management below him in the, your first base coach, your coaches are going to be more senior. That's ass backwards. And what should be doing? You should be bringing him in as a third base coach, let him percolate there, or send him to Sacramento to coach for a couple of years or manage. You want to be a manager? Manage my AAA team. They're doing it ass backwards then, Lou, if they do it your model.
I completely agree what you're saying, but this is what Buster wants, so he's doing it. He's doing it.
Well, he's gonna have to own it.
Because what they've done is failed since. But they got to remember, Bochy, everything worked out perfect, but since then, everything has been a disaster. Everything, our signings, our free agency, everything's been an absolute disaster. It's like I almost said on one of Dan's shows, like, Larry Baer and the upper management sold their soul to the devil for the 3 championships in 5 years. And, they said, yes, we'll take the 3 championships, what hadn't been done in a while, and we don't care about the rest of our time. And that's sort of how it is. They're in a little putt-putt by everybody else, like Eric's in a Rolls Royce. Everyone's excuses. Oh, the Dodgers have more money. When you look at it, the Dodgers just have better managers, better management, better everything. And, the Giants are just happy. Hey, what are they going to do next year? It's the 11th anniversary of the last championship, or it's the 5th anniversary of the last time the Giants were in the playoffs, because they've run out of stuff. They've done mediocre decisions and they've gotten product that's given us mediocre success, and again, I'm sick of the excuses. I want results. I want to go see the Giants because they're talented and they're making me good, than going to a ballpark that's known for good food. You know what I mean? I want it. If Seattle can do it, why in the hell can we not? And I think that's what's important. We got to stop. Again, it's been over a decade, guys. Okay. Since then, we've been horrible. Again, we've only had 1 year with a winning season in the second half and 1 year where we've been to the playoffs in 2021. It's been 10 years now. So something
Lou. Don't forget, we couldn't hit last year. And as Eric and I so subtly brought up at the end of the show and didn't get into it, but you better remind, even though we couldn't hit, we can't hit it, Lou. That's not debatable. We can't hit. We're not a hitting team. Do you think Vitello, you hire him, he's sneaking the aluminum bats in to give us the edge?
Or maybe everyone does the Thunder bats. Remember how big they were the first week when the Dodgers hit like 20 homers and then only 2?
Yeah, the torpedoes. Yeah.
And another thing, Eric, that we brought up in the show last night, and I think more to your credit, you brought it up. You had heard that Vitello raves about our right fielder, and I said to Eric, I see Drew Gilbert in right field opening day next year. I don't know. I'll be so disenchanted with the franchise.
Exactly. You only can be as good as your players on the field, right? Manager, again, I've said this a million times, and this holds true both for Bob Melvin and for the future Giants manager. You're only as good as your players, man. You could be Bruce Bochy, but if you don't have the players to go to distance, well, guess what? It doesn't matter who the hell's managing. It doesn't.
But you also
have players. But you also, that manager still has to be able to go out there and manage, even if you do got a fairly good team. Right now, the Giants, they're still trying to figure it out. They got some decent players, right? So it's going to take a lot of strategy of the manager to go out there and do what needs to be done. For example, can Vitello in a game 7 like today pull the right or push the right buttons to go out there and make the moves that need to be made in the bullpen? We don't know that. He's never been in that situation. That's the issue that I have. It's not that I don't think that he's capable. I'm just saying, hey, let's get someone out there who's done it before. That's it. And it's not even about being safe or whatever. How about just get some proven guys who've done it? That's all.
Right on.
Then now, does that automatically guarantee that you're going to go win more games? No, because again, the product on the field's got to go out there and do their part. There's no doubt about it. But I want to have confidence in when the manager is walking out to the mound to make that pitching change, he knows what he is doing. When he's in the clubhouse, is he going to have these relationships with these players? These are MLB veterans. These are adults. These are millionaires. Can you relate to those and not 18 to 22-year-olds? It's totally different. That's going to be the key. It's not just about going out there and the X's and O's. There's a lot more. Lou, you spoke to it about all the interviews and such, the post and pre's and everything else in between interviews. All I want is to go out there and get the best guy. That's it. Yeah. I'm not asking. That's it.
But he's also, before he's even here, Eric, he is pumping up the Tennessee product. Like, is that what we're going to be? Are we going to be all guys who've graduated? Is this going to be Tennessee Volunteers 2.0, the major league level? Like, is he capable of saying, Drew, get the hell out of here?
I have a question.
You can't just go to bat with your buddies, Eric.
Yeah, I have a question. Is he just another flavor of the month? Why hasn't it been done yet? Why have they been negotiating for 3 days? Because this was the same thing 2 weeks ago.
I think he's deciding whether I give up a cushy job and money.
Exactly. That's why I was saying he makes, he's $3.3 million for a young guy, where literally, remember, you don't have to work all the full time. You don't have to do all this stuff. It's not like he's making 800,000 or maybe $1 million. Yeah. He's already making $3.2 million, and he's in the SEC, and he has his own TV, thing. I mean, it's a big step. And again,
No, go ahead, Lou.
I don't know if he's married and he has young kids. That's a big sacrifice.
No, he doesn't.
Family. So,
no, but you're onto it, Lou. Nick Hundley. He was the flavor of the week the last couple of weeks, right?
Yeah.
And now, well, I'm out. I'm not going. So all of a sudden, it's like the players. I don't see anybody scrambling and saying, "I'm in town. I want an interview. I want this job." They're having a difficult time with this, Lou.
Yeah, and you know what? Again, for him, maybe it's about the money, but it's been 3 days. You got to remember, he was one of the original 5. Do you remember, who was this college coach? He was one of the 5. And then it was all about Nick, Susan, and Alex. Oh, yeah, Nick. Oh, yeah, he interviewed. And then they only talked about one other interview. And then all of a sudden, no, I'm not interested anymore. Nick Hundley turned down the job. It's just one of those things where it's, until it's done, it's I still think there could be somebody else. Like they interviewed the KC bench coach. You know, who knows? Maybe someone with Seattle. I saw what JT Snow said, where maybe the Giants are talking to Cleveland and they're willing to give up something to get their manager, sort of like what they did with Bochy. You know, I think there's a lot more out there than this guy's the guy 100%, because especially with 7 other openings,
Yep.
you know, he's being a college coach. They could have signed him right away. And, you know, when you hear, oh, well, they're still negotiating the contract. Well, the guy's making 3.2. So what? They're going to offer him $5-year deal for $25 million, you know, which is hard to turn down, especially. But again, maybe it's one of those things where Buster says, hey, I want to sign this guy. And then you have the other owners saying, wait a minute, we're offering this guy 5 years, 25 when he's never done it. Buster, let's just see. Are you 100% sure there's nobody else? You know what I mean? Where sometimes we jump to conclusions. You know, you have their side, our side. I think the same thing with Nick. You know, I thought Nick was probably on a scale 1 to 10 about a 9. You know, I was excited, an Arizona guy. I didn't think he was the right guy for the job. But, you know, because he hadn't done it, all he did was he worked in the front office. It's just such a big difference.
Okay, here's a question I want to ask you guys. If the priority was Nick Hundley and the pivot is to Tony Vitello, what does those two guys have in common? They haven't done any coaching, or I should not say good. They haven't done anything with the MLB as far as a manager at all. Vitello, granted, has coached. Nick Hundley hasn't coached, but you're talking about two guys who have never
Oh, geez.
done any type of managing whatsoever.
So I
or
gotta
not
bring up
managing,
the
but
banner again?
MLB.
I
I should say MLB managing. I don't like it, man. Is this the direct? I think that now we can kind of see the direction that Buster. He wants to get a guy that he can mold, but the problem is,
But he said he wanted to win now.
exactly.
But
And
nobody
I don't know.
molded Buster. Nobody molded
Yes,
before.
correct.
Now we have people. It's like, wait a minute.
What's wrong? And then look, you know what
Yeah.
I think is happening? We're getting a lot of freaking overcorrection. Why was Bob Melvin fired? Did we ever hear that from Buster Posey? No, we have not. I got a feeling there was maybe a personality conflict. And because of that, he soured on guys who maybe have managed before, where they're stuck in their preconceptions of how they want to manage.
Good point, Eric.
Yes. Right. Okay. That's fine. But you work with people that way. You don't want to get a bunch of yes men. Sometimes you need to hear a different voice occasionally. Doesn't mean it has to lead to a sour relationship, but come on. I don't like it. It's okay to go outside your comfort zone where you don't have to worry about whether or not the guy's going to agree with you or not. Because if you got a guy who is a manager, look, well, that's for example, Brandon Hyde. He led a young team to 100 wins. That was pretty amazing considering the talent that the Baltimore Orioles had. It was a lot of youngsters. What's his name? David Ross. And I don't even know if he's interviewing he was a pretty damn good manager for the short time that he was. I don't understand it. And to your point, Luke, because I want to get to this, you're talking about the money. And I said this yesterday. It's not necessarily the price, but what you're doing is, okay, say you pay out his $3 million and now he's going to come be a Giants manager. How much do you have to pay him to be a Giants manager? Approximately. Is he looking for more than 3? Okay. So if you're going to say you're going to give him $5 million, you want to give a manager who has never done it ever. He's never done it. And you want to give him $5 million. And I'm telling you, so altogether, you're paying this guy $8 million to be the manager.
And you got to remember, if he goes next year and he's making, say, 5 for 25, there's actually 3 managers that are getting paid next year.
Yeah. Right.
So really now he's actually getting paid probably about maybe $14 million because, they just, so that's the other thing too.
And here's the thing, but what you're doing is it's not the money. He's being paid commensurate with someone who's done it before. And you're putting him on a pedestal. And now you got these expectations. And if you fail in those expectations because you've never done it and it may be in over your head, now what? Are you back to square one again now? Oh, man. You see, I'm not liking it.
Eric, it's sort of like how us three are talking about next Giant season, how we're meeting with my salary, and then I keep going back to Dan, and Dan won't match, and then, we're going back and forth. I think I'm more valuable. Dan says, no, Lou, you're worth this much because of this. And now you guys say, Lou, we want this, but for me to change, I want this. It's just negotiations, and a lot of people don't know how tough it is. I mean, I'm getting gray hair. Glenn's getting gray hair, and Eric still looks great driving his Rolls. What to say?
I'll sum it up this way.
Gosh.
Here's how I summed it up with, Buster Posey is quite possibly on the precipice of signing this guy Vitello. And Lou, let's be frank. A lot of guys in our chat last night, we threw the daggers last night because all of a sudden everybody knows about his accolades and his career. I never heard of him a week ago, Lou. Eric never heard of him. I said, what's he done? Well, he's a good motivator. I'm like, you're just buying into the bullshit. That's all you're doing. You didn't know. I guess Glenn doesn't watch college ball. Everybody in our chat's watching it. So the one problem, I can sum it up, Lou. You tell me your thoughts. I don't think this gets a debate. Buster Posey, a guy with no experience, hiring a guy with no experience. And you think this is going to work?
So it's sort of funny because I spoke with Eric about this the other day when this name started coming up. Is he did win the CWS, the College World Series, 2 years ago. Mm-hmm. But when I think of the SEC, there are more players and great pitchers from Vanderbilt. Why didn't we go after the guy from Vanderbilt? Because that's sort of the college program. That's like the Alabama of football. Vanderbilt baseball is the creme de la creme, okay? Nobody else can even touch him. But we're going to a guy that, he won 2 years ago. Okay, Tennessee's, I'm not saying a problem, but it's like, when you have an opportunity, if you're going to him because you think he's the best college coach, well, I think you're wrong. But when you're going, I think you bring up a great point, Glenn. You have a guy who's sort of a wild card who really has his job because not his ability, but because of his past, he's going to give someone because he's the hot thing or the flavor of the month right now, and it could backfire. Now, the other thing, too, it's a lot different coaching college players where they have a dream. They want to get to the next level. They want to get to the show. When you walk into the Giants thing, he doesn't speak English. I mean, he only speaks English. He doesn't speak Spanish. You already have 4 guys that are sort of set for life, veterans. It's going to take a long time for him to gain their respect. And the other thing is the Giants baseball in the last couple of years have had a serious problem. We all know. We strike out too much. We don't put the ball in play. Can this guy change that? No. So he's going to actually probably have to adapt his style when he coached at Tennessee to coach the Giants. Because I'm sorry, but we have the same team basically coming back, right? The other thing is, again, I'm not an expert. I just know won it. Was he great with pitching staff? No, Vanderbilt was. Maybe he's good with hitters, but we have a lot of guys that aren't going to change. Chapman doesn't change. Adame's not going to change. We have Devers who's not going to change. So it's sort of tough, Again, he could be great, but is he going to be great? Maybe like how the Giants were last year for the first 6 weeks. How is he going to handle the pressure? Where he's going against teams that are better. Yeah.
Hey, Lou, and remember, a college season lasts like 50-something games. That's it. And then it's over. Now you got, and look, that's 6 months of baseball, and then you got 6 months of off season. Now, granted, I know it doesn't end with college because you got to do recruiting and all that other stuff. I get it. But as far as managing a game, it's different, man. It's just
And the other thing, Eric, it's a lot different when you have aluminum bats compared to wood bats in the pros.
That's a fact. It's different, right?
Hey, Lou, you talk about him wanting to be a major league manager. Maybe that's his dream, be a major league manager. But why is society in general now gotten to the point where it's like college kids? They come out of college and I want to go work for you. All right, you've got to file the paperwork and, sweep the stairs. Well, I want to be vice president of the company. It's the way, I mean, especially I know people who have government jobs and they're like that. They come in and they're like, yeah, what are your expectations? I want to run the company. Like, no, you're going to be the person who you're going to be the janitor. You're applying to be the janitor, not run the company. But I don't know why guys get I don't know whether they're even considering people. This all goes back to experience.
Yeah, and everyone's saying in the chat how
find
good
a
this guy
wild
is.
card. Can we not go out on a limb and get a guy who's got experience at the same time?
Yeah, I just don't understand it because, NIL money's out of control, so you can sort of pick who's going to be on your team. I love it in the chat. This guy's an automatic genius. You guys said the same thing 2 weeks ago with Nick Hundley. Remember, Eric? He's never done it, but he's great with personnel.
Yeah, I know.
He's solid with the player.
Know.
Being a former catcher, he's so good with these guys. He's going to bring a great morale. And now we're hearing this. Now this guy's a genius. If he's such a genius, why is none of the other 7 after him? We said the same thing with Nick. If we had a guy that's so good, that all 8 teams should be after him.
Right.
That's all I'm saying.
That's a fair. And if I'm not mistaken, I think Minnesota wanted to interview Vitello, I believe. I think. I thought I saw something out there. But hey, how about Albert Pujols? No longer going to be a candidate for the Angels. Now, supposedly he's got an interview with San Diego and also Baltimore. So how about that? That'd be interesting. How about that? Would you take a flyer on Pujols?
Why not? It costs you nothing. Meet him. I mean, now he's gone 3 teams. I personally think he'd be great with Baltimore. Young guys.
Yeah. Young guys.
I think a lot of people in the chat only think of Pujols as a California Angel because that's what they were known when he signed. They don't realize how incredible he was as a St. Louis Cardinal.
Yeah,
he was the machine for a reason. He was unbelievable. He literally would play every day. He would go 40 and 130 without anything. No juice, no nothing. Smart as a tack. Great baseball mind. But everyone sees him, he was a lousy Angel. Well, I mean, God, he went, again, money changes people. I don't care what it is, but when you change the leagues, that also is different. I think Eric and Glenn, you guys bring up a great point of continuity. When you play with a team, I think he played with them for 11 years, and you're literally like Mr. Cardinal because of Mark McGwire with the steroids. He was the man. And then you switch. Not only do you go from National League to American League, but, you go from the Midwest, which baseball is huge, to the Angels, which they're always second fiddle. They're like the A's and the Giants. Angels are not the Dodgers, right? And what's sort of funny is he had better 2 years with the Dodgers than he did the 6 years with the Angels. You remember he had they bought him back and hit the big homer, and then he actually was involved in one of the most probably dramatic plays of his career when the Giants and Dodgers. He hit one that everyone thought was out in the 10th inning, and our guy who plays bought it back in the 10th inning. Bachman, yeah. So, I just think it's one of those things. It's, I just think the Giants are where they're at, and Buster talking a good game. He's taking a real big risk bringing in a college guy because, as Glenn says, it's but then you're going to have experience on your bench coach or this. Why not just get a guy that's experienced and have him maybe as your bench coach? Maybe for 3 or 4 years. So I think Glenn makes one of those things.
I see the Giants signing Vitello and bringing in experience. That's ass backwards.
It should be the other way around. I agree wholeheartedly.
They're making excuses. You know what's going to happen if they let's just think ahead. They hire him, and it fails. It's an utter failure. We're terrible next year, and don't think that couldn't happen. If we are just as bad as we were this year, a 500 ball club at best, you know what I'm predicting now? Can't you guys see what's going to happen? Everybody's going to say, well, Buster, I'm of the opinion now, the fan base thinks Buster can do no wrong. Well, It didn't work out. We'll try again. At least he tried. They seem to have this Buster is God mentality, and Buster doesn't even have experience. And how often do we go into the well with this guy? How many years will that last?
Well, it depends. I think a lot of it's going to depend on what happens this year. So let's see what he does in his offseason, and then we can go from there. But we're just going to have to see what happens.
Eric, do you think he's going to identify? I can make a laundry list of things that got to be changed. Do you think it's going to be just a move here and hire a manager and a move? I think it's going to be a manager and a move. He gets one new face, and he's going to go with his guys. I'm telling you, I don't think this is going to be a clean house. I don't.
No, he has to go get some addition. He's got to get guys. It's not going to be singular. It's going to be plural. He's going to get guys. Now, first thing that has to get done is who the hell's going to be the manager? We got to start there first before anything else. And we'll see where the hell it goes, man. Oh, we don't know nothing yet. Honestly, to be honest, hold on. Let's talk about this. Do we really know that the Giants are hard and heavy in on Vitello? For all we know, he had an interview. And that's it. Maybe that's where it is. But yet, because the media gets a hold of it, they want to spin it in a way where it looks like the Giants are hot and heavy in on this guy. He could just be a guy that interviewed, and then it's left at that. Because one thing that Buster Posey has done, he's kept everything close to the vest, right? He doesn't leak anything. When Bob Melvin got hired, he didn't leak it, right? Or no, it's the other way around. When he decided to keep him, didn't leak it, right? I mean, it's like
Evers trade nobody knew about, and
Evers trade had no idea that was coming, and that's huge to keep on the wraps, man. That's not easy. So we don't know. We honestly, until the manager is signed and there's a press conference, we don't know who they. All we could do is debate about the potential of a Tony Vitello or Tony Robbins.
Senior says he brings up a good point, a good question. Who could they get that's better?
I would take Brendan Hyde. I think
Don Mattingly. What's wrong with Don Mattingly?
I brought him up a couple of weeks ago. Hey,
why not? I mean, he's got the experience, but
now he's in the World Series because I think Eric. Remember he's the bench coach, right? And he's in his first World Series playing that well. I mean, he was Donnie Baseball. But people keep thinking we said this about 3 weeks ago. The original five, it's probably someone we're not even thinking of. It might be someone that's still managing. It might be one of those things. It's again, Buster has his own way where he's not going to let anybody know, but it's all done for a reason, But hey, I think we have two things. We got to get the manager. Once we get that, let's enjoy the World Series. And then 7 days after the final World Series, it's all about free agency.
Yep. And Aaron makes a great point. How are we defining better? I guess overall, I guess that's the best way. Look, Lou, to your point, it could be someone we're not even thinking of. And all of a sudden the announcement comes around and we're like, wow, didn't even think of that guy. I mean, it could very well come to that.
And the problem with the next manager is better. I think better is strictly going to be defined in one thing: wins. Whoever they hire is going to be his ass is on the line right out of the gate. They got to get wins, Eric.
Yeah. And here's the thing is with that question, is he, who do you think? So, I mean, we're talking about a guy who's never done it before. I mean, I'm just saying I'm not putting Vitello up on a pedestal thinking that that this guy is so good that who can you get that's better? For me, that's not even a question. I think there's plenty of guys that would be better because they have the MLB experience. And what does that MLB experience mean? It means they understand what it takes to play 162 games. They understand what it takes in relationships. They understand what it takes in getting your guys ready for the game and the strategy of the game, right? Because once you're at the MLB level, man, right, this is go time. all the training and the fundamentals that you did prior to getting to the major leagues is put to the test at the MLB. Once you're at the MLB, you're at the pinnacle, man. You just got to hone, and you got to just have repetition of the stuff that you've already learned, right? You're coming into the major leagues to compete for the biggest thing that you could possibly be, and that's the World Series. So
Eric,
go give me a guy. Give me a guy who's done it.
There's a lot of guys that need to hire a manager right now. There are other teams looking for a manager. Why is it that Vitello, I only see Vitello linked to the Giants? Is nobody else calling him? I haven't heard about any other
question. Great question.
And Eric, there's 26 positions, 26 spots to be an MLB manager. It's the creme of la creme. And we're going to do a guy from college. I mean, it's just tough. And the other thing, too, is why would he want to take the job of the Giants? Okay? It's not like they're the Dodgers. Right now, the Braves are a better team.
Mets.
I'm sorry. The Braves are better. You know, you have other teams out there that might be a better fit for him. Plus, you know, I think the pressure, too, is right now the Giants fans are sort of pissed off. Thank God we have Buster, because it would be worse. It'd be a mutiny, right? But right now we're still the third or fourth best team in just the West. The other thing too is they got to improve it, because there is going to be a lockout. And then what? You're going to go in 5 straight years of being nothing? Giants may never come back from the lockout. Say the lockout's a whole year and we're 5 years horrible. You know, you got to think like this. We got to have a future. We got to have continuity. And I just think it's like we're doing a Hail Mary, and there's still 3/4 left in the game if you're going to pick a college guy.
And the new manager with the Braves is going to be David Ross.
Think so? Or DeRosa?
David Ross. It's already being talked about. It's David Ross.
And that was one of Eric's choices.
Really? Yeah, I mentioned David Ross quite a while back, just because, hey, the guy, I was trying to look at first, catchers, someone that's young and someone outside the organization, because that seems to be the prerequisites for fans and the San Francisco Giants being the next manager. So, yeah, that's what I was thinking. Hey, why not that guy? Who knows, man? All we could do, look, it's going to happen in the next couple of days. It's probably going to, I would not be surprised if it's announced before Friday.
Can I ask you something, Eric? Can I ask you, and Luke can chime in? And I ask this in all sincerity, all seriousness. In a podcast uploaded today, Tony Vitello, this is according to Insane, so take it.
Oh, dude, I saw this clip.
Says guys are undercoached in the MLB right now. So my question to you, Eric, is, what do you think the mentality of, top down, what do you think the mentality of a major league player is when a college coach comes in and says, all right, boys, I'm going to coach you up? Do you think that works? Do you think I think the players, remember we talked to Matt Stairs. He got out of coaching. He goes, you can try to lead them to water, but you can't make them drink. They're set in their ways. And he was a hitting instructor. He says the more you worked with them, they always went back to their old ways. And you can't teach them at that level. I'm getting paid this money for a reason, because I know how it's done. I don't know if it works when you bring in a college manager with guys making $400 million.
I seen this clip going all over the place, and every single person takes it out of context. Every single person. What does this say?
Youth
Incorporated, right? Empowering the next generation of athletes. So what does that mean? Right? Young guys, right? What does it say? What does this say? Less coaching, less accountability, and less focus. And youth baseball is affecting players all the way to the MLB. Does he say anything about the MLB, or is he talking about the youth eventually getting to the MLB? He's talking about youth baseball. He's not talking about the MLB. He's saying in youth baseball that there's less accountability, less coaching. And in the clip, you want to listen to the clip? He talks about it. Here, let's take a listen here. Well, hold on. Let me refresh this. Let's take a listen and what he says.
Are they better skilled baseball players with less understanding of the game as a result of this early kind of format that we've created at the younger levels?
Younger levels.
Yeah, and I went and watched, I'm sure you saw Drew Gilbert play for us a ways back, and now the world's kind of finding out who he is. I went and saw him play just to see him in a big league uniform and was able to speak to a GM, and we both talked. I think everyone's suffering the consequences all the way up to the big leagues where guys are super skilled, but there's less development, less coaching, less accountability, and therefore less understanding of how to actually play the game to win.
So getting the foundation as a youth. I'll continue.
And it starts all the way trickle-down effect. You know, Little League, I'm such a fan of, I'm not a father, but I sure love when the helmets are bigger than the kids. It's just funny as hell to see. But it isn't too much longer after that it's time to have a walkout song and make sure you got the fanciest unis, and maybe it's like trades are being made, like, hey, this kid's no longer good enough, but we saw this kid that is.
My interview with Tony.
There you go. Talking about the kids, guys. Don't get it twisted. He's talking about youth baseball. He's not talking about MLB players, guys. Come on. That's who he is. He is a college coach. And what he does is he goes out there and he drafts high school players for his college team, okay? He sees that there is something wrong with youth baseball, that they're not focusing on accountability and the fundamentals, yada, yada, right? That's what he's talking about. He's not talking about guys who are playing in the MLB. Come on, man.
Was he just talking about the kids? The kids should have walk-up music?
No. He's saying against that. He says kids are more worried about the walk-up music. They're more worried about the fancy uniforms and shit.
Oh, the swagger.
Yeah, they're missing the basic fundamentals.
That's what he's saying. He wants to teach fundamentals to the youth.
Okay.
That's what it is. Come
on.
Then
he should be a youth instructor.
NIL money for guys before in T-ball. Guys are NIL money. That's how
everyone thinks that's what he's going to bring to the San Francisco Giants. No, these are MLB players. They're already proven. They already know what to do. They're major league players, the best baseball players in the world. They know what they got to do, man. That's all I'm saying. And look, he's awesome, right? He can motivate. That's awesome. You want a coach who could go out there and motivate the kids. I get it. Teach them the fundamentals. That's important for them to have success if they want to go out there and eventually be a major league baseball player. That's huge. I love it. But when we're talking about being a manager for a major league baseball team, the players have already done it, unless you're getting the young guys, right?
Yeah, and it's a veteran team. Giants have a lot of veterans that have been around.
They do. And how is that going to translate in the clubhouse? We don't know, because it hasn't been done.
You know what? At the end of the day, time is going to – who are we to – we don't know. But if this goes down with him, Eric, this is dangerous territory for the Giants. I think it's dangerous.
I know where this guy is going. I know where he's going. What's up, Aaron? How about a guy? Thank you for the $5, Aaron. How about a guy who's 50, managed 2 big market teams, former player, front office experience, former minor league scout, and led the team to 107 wins. You know who he's talking about, right?
He's right in your back pocket.
You know who he's talking about, right?
Yep.
2021 should have never happened, because this comes up way too much.
The return of Mr. Kapler. Oh, my God. Dude, Aaron, great play, by the way. Great play. I like that.
And by the way, Glenn, wouldn't it have been the night to celebrate with cookies? How great would it have been tonight? Your team wins. You could have celebrated Game 7. You could have opened up a nice 2-pack and would have had some. Thanks, Aaron. Way to come through.
You think I'm a weakling up here? A 2-pack. A 2-pack?
No, we'll each come in 2-packs. There he is.
There he is. You got any cookies? Oh, there he is. You got 2. 2. Hey, you know what?
Man, that shit's great.
Lou, it's all about the cookies, and it's most definitely, most wholeheartedly and definitely all about our sponsors.
Giants Sports Talk Live, brought to you by Lefties in Burlingame. Visit Lefties for all of your Giants collecting needs. By GenesisGoldIRA.com, signatures for soldiers. Duxwell Printing, for all of your printing needs in the Bay Area. Visit Duxwell Printing at 37 Wentworth Place in San Francisco. And by BetterCreditCards.com. For the best credit card choice for you, visit BetterCreditCards.com. Covering the San Francisco Giants nightly, online, we are Giant Sports Talk Live. Now, back to Eric and Glenn.
So support the sponsors. They support us. Please and thank you. From Eric and Glenn and Lou.
I'm having chest pain.
Well, Ramos doesn't know the infield fly rule, Eric. Well, apparently our team doesn't know how to run the bases and play defense. This team needs someone to help them work on the fundamentals. Yeah, so you need a college coach, right? Never had MLB experience. He could go out there and teach the major leaguers. Got it. Spot on. And by the way, you want to make that decision based on when one player doesn't know the infield fly rule. If I'm not mistaken, I think there was a player who did that. I can't remember which team that did that a week later. So you're going to sit there and you're going to say because Ramos had a brain fart on one infield fly rule, that all of a sudden the Giants need to go back to the basics. Let's go to boot camp. We're going to train you. You're going to get into the trenches, soldier.
Oh,
come on, man.
Come on.
By the way,
come on.
Is one of the most insanely
because of
idiotic
one
things I have
player.
ever heard.
Seriously, because of one player, you have to go out there and go get a college coach.
By the way, this equation,
on, man.
the answer is Ron Wotus.
Come on.
Because this never happened when Ron Wotus was involved.
No, it did not. That's a fact. Ron Wotus was a fantastic guy out there showing guys, hey, maybe do this, maybe do that. Sometimes that's all it takes is just a little bit of a tweak. That's it.
He's proven he's built like a leader too, isn't he?
He is.
He's just built like a leader.
But he's a retread. He's an old guy. And you know what's funny, Lou? There would be people who would say, Bruce Bochy, who cares about Bruce Bochy? If Bruce Bochy, well, let's say he was 10 years younger, people would say, no, we don't need Bruce. I'd rather have Vitello. Even though Bruce Bochy what did Bruce Bochy do to win 3 World Series in 5 years? Was he a rah-rah guy? Was he? Was he a rah-rah guy? Or was he just a stoic leader and understood pitching, understood setting up a lineup, making the right decisions, leading a clubhouse? Was he in there freaking sliding around, taking pictures? Was he jumping into crowds? Come on, man.
He adapted his managing to the team that he had for that present year. Because if you look at 10, 12, and 14, were different teams in everything. The only familiar thing is decent starting pitching, a great stopper, and a solid pen. The players were all different, and he adapted to it. He used the team. He would do small ball. He would do whatever he did whatever it took to win. And I think, Eric, we talked about this before. If it's a 9-inning game, he'll use the whole entire bench. He'll use everybody. He'll worry about the 10th and 11th inning when he gets to that. But you got to do whatever it takes to win. And I think the one thing about Bochy and why we're so spoiled is he knew how important games are. You can't get swept in April because that's 3 less games you have to win in September. Every game is important. You can't go 1-12 at home. You can't get swept in a weekend series against a team below 500. That's impossible. You got to at least get that one win, because then it's only -1. You got to do whatever it takes.
Right. Facts. And here's another thing. And Aaron talks about this. It doesn't matter. And I've said that a million times. I don't give a shit about your age. You know what I care about? I don't care if you're inside or outside. I just care about getting the best guy for the job. That's it. Period. End of story. It's not freaking rocket science. It's baseball. This game has been played for 150 years. Everyone who's in the major leagues understands what it takes to win baseball. Don't overcomplicate it. There's no reason to. People want to make it more difficult than what it is. Go out there and play baseball, man. My God, come on. That's all I'm saying. Let's go out there, get a guy who understands the game of baseball. And guess what? More times than not, you're going to be winning.
You know why I love being guest spot on this thing? I got a history major here, and then I get the brains of the operation there.
That's right.
I learned so much just sit here, not saying a word. I'm actually getting about this much better every night. Just learning the game, learning the fundamentals. It's amazing.
Thanks, Lou. Appreciate that. And look, I'm not professing to be some expert. I like talking baseball. That's what it is. I like talking baseball. End of story. Come on, NorCal. You know who come on, fella. You know exactly who I'm talking about, man. I've given you name after name. Come on.
Lou, because you bounce around. You're like special guest appearance guy all over the place, smart ass that you are. We bring you in because of your knowledge. You're gifted.
You bring it, Lou. You bring it, Lou.
You do a great job.
I appreciate it. I think the one thing is dancing is this you guys have fun. And I think what makes me enjoy my time here is you guys have fun. You stick to one topic, baseball, and it's one of those great things where, again, we all see the game, how good it was tonight, but we all see it in different ways and how great it was. Eric talked about, my God, it was like a Kirk Gibson homer. If you would have shown the replay of a guy you thought broke his kneecap last night, it was unbelievable. He comes back, hits the winning homer. Here's the other thing. If I think it was game 2 or 3, we talked about, because I was one of your special guests, about Gosman coming out. Mm-hmm. Did the manager overmanage? Why did you pull Gosman out? And what does Gosman do tonight? Mm-hmm. He pitches an inning and he gets the win. That's what makes baseball so unique. Here's a guy that had never really done it. But, you got to remember, everything, you go from the best of 3 to best of 5, best of 7. You got to do whatever it takes. Today, they would have used everybody to get the W because you have 4 days off. That's what you got to do. You got to do whatever it takes to get the W, mm-hmm. And there's going to be a winner. There's going to be a loser. Seattle's big 2 showed up. Unfortunately, I think the key to all this, home field. Once it came back in the end, Seattle won the night because their fans made them win. They didn't want to lose. Not that Seattle lost. Again, Toronto earned it, and I'm just excited. After tonight, we have 4 more nights of talking. I assume you guys will probably do maybe a preview, maybe Thursday night or something to get everyone excited. But I think, one of the great things about baseball is it teases you. It gets you going. And, the World Series is just something about it. And I think it even does something better than the Super Bowl, because Super Bowl is 2 weeks. I sort of like the 3-4 day buildup, mm-hmm. And right now we have something where, hey, last year we were spoiled East Coast, West Coast, Yankees, Dodgers, in case you guys forgot who played last year, because it was last year. But now we have Toronto, East Coast, Canada. We have now Godzilla and the boys, Dodgers. It's just got a chance to be so special. And I think one of the things, even when the Giants won it, we didn't really have that special opportunity. And I just hope, we see something dramatic. And, next year when the baseball starts, we can go, God, I still can't believe how great that World Series was, And it's sort of amazing because people don't really know about Toronto, beside probably the greatest strip clubs in the world, beside Montreal. But Toronto's a great city, great people. I saw somebody in the comment earlier commenting how many beautiful women were at the game. It's like that in every sport in Toronto. Toronto has some of the most beautiful women in the world, but they just like sports. Now you go to LA, in LA, it's going to be all the stars. The World Series, you're going to see rock stars. You're going to see movie stars. You're going to see everyone who's there, right? In Canada, trust me, they might be superstars, but they might not be Hollywood. But it's going to just be so dramatic. And, like I said, I know we got to wait 4 days, but I'm pretty fired up. I think it's going to be pretty special.
Got a couple of things here. Rob says if Vitello It's hired. I feel better that the Giants will come draft time. Why do you think that, Rob? Tell me, explain to me how you think Vitello will make the draft better.
I think it's because he's not.
I want to hear.
He's not hiring him as a manager. It's because Rob wants him to be hired as the director of scouting. That's
okay. Fair. That's fair. Tell me, as a manager, Rob, real quick. I'm not trying to pick on you. Why do you think the Giants will be at an advantage at draft day if Vitello is the next San Francisco Giants manager? I would like to know that, Rob, and then I got something to show as well.
And one other point I want to make before I close up my night, Eric. Giants fans just love crapping on their team.
Oh,
then don't play 500 and make the playoffs for a change. Give me something to cheer about. Come on.
Well, you still, win, lose, or draw, you got to root for your team, period.
You root for your team all the way to the final weekend of the season, and then you pack it away till next year, Eric. It's the same routine over and over and over.
Just saying.
I'm tired of it. Tired. Lou, are you tired of it, Lou?
And all I know is I don't care who we have as a manager. I want them to improve, but they need a whole new bullpen, and they need another bopper. Because if they bring back the same people, I mean, we're talking about
that's correct.
Tony's talking about bringing our guy we got from a trade that another team didn't want. I don't want him as a right fielder. We're going to be in the same situation as Yaz, where I didn't like Yaz last year. We got to improve so many spots. I want Buster to get me a manager. Boom. Get me maybe 2 boppers. Get me 2 free agents. We have the money. And then I want to see results. I don't want this. Oh, well, we're not really sure.
I see that, JB. Yeah,
that's what I want.
What did you want to add?
Hold on, here we go. Because
I knew that. SEC. Same BS with football is one thing. Baseball, Vanderbilt has more pros, not Tennessee. Come on.
Let me ask this. Rob, in the MLB draft, listen to me. You cannot woo. You cannot schmooze a player. Your team is stuck with a certain number of pick. Let's just say next year the Giants are around the 15th pick. It don't matter. You're getting the best guy available. You're not schmoozing him. You can't go out there and go find the guy that you want because there's a draft. That's the purpose. And not to mention, the guy is going to be managing, right? When does the draft happen? Happens right around the All-Star break, right around there, right? Well, he's more worried about managing the San Francisco Giants. He's not out there doing what, as Glenn said, the head of scouting. That is the job of the front office. The front office will run it by the manager, I'm sure. Hey, what do you think of this guy? But again, you're stuck with a number and you just got to get the best available at that time. That's it. All right, here we go. I'm going to do something here. Guess who else? I reached out to Barry Bloom, sports writer, right? Longtime baseball sports writer. I asked him the question similar to, remember when I asked,
Lou wasn't here for that. Lou probably isn't in on that.
Yeah, I reached out to. Okay, here. How about we'll do that? Well, you want to do that one first? Hold on. Let's.
Yeah, I don't think Lou said he didn't catch yesterday's performance. It was epic.
Oh gosh, I gotta find one. I gotta find it. Hold on. Give me a minute.
All right, talk.
Way the hell down here. I sit there and I
Cliff Notes and just say what you said. Cliff Notes version.
Friday night, game 1, Lou. Can't wait. And guess what? There's going to be 39,150 at the Rogers Center for the game, Lou. It's going to be epic. Oh, I can't wait.
It'll be rocking.
Can't wait. I am more excited. You know what? No matter how it ends, the Giants aren't there, right? No matter how it ends. I think the Blue Jays Dodgers are the best matchup you could have. The most exciting.
I completely agree. Completely agree.
I think it would be very boring if it was the Mariners Dodgers.
Yeah.
Again, big Nick Turturro, right? We are big fans of him. So I asked him a question the other night. Said, I'm a longtime San Francisco Giants fan. Would like to hear your opinion about the potential hiring of the Tennessee manager to become the Giants' new manager. Do you like the idea of hiring a manager with zero MLB experience, whether it's coaching or managing? Will a rah-rah attitude work in an MLB clubhouse? I have my reservations, Nick. I hope I'm wrong. He responded to me. It depends if he's a good baseball mind and not necessarily MLB, but he has to have some experience around the game because you just can't step into the big leagues without nothing or no experience. And he had some exclamation marks. So there you go. How about that? So he doesn't like the idea, right? Well, take it for what it's worth. But I also reached out to Barry Bloom earlier today. It's pretty cool. I got a chance to talk to him when I was over on Marty's show, and I asked him a question.
See, Lou, rubbing shoulders with all the heavies.
Quite.
So I reached out to Barry Bloom. All right. Who is Barry Bloom? Well, let's take a look. Senior writer, Sportico, Forbes, MLB, Bloomberg. All right. He's a San Diego Press Club Award, president of Sabre, Arizona, MLB Hall of Fame voter since 1992. That is who Barry Bloom is. Said we'd like to get Barry Bloom's assessment on the ongoing managerial talk concerning the San Francisco Giants. Had the pleasure to speak with you on Marty Lurie's YouTube live stream where we discuss potential fits for the Giants. There have been rumors lately on potential candidates for the club. It also looks like the supposed frontrunner Nick Hundley has withdrawn his name. The biggest rumor is about Tony Vitello, which has been running rampant. Do you see that coming to fruition? If not, what is your updated ideas on where the Giants may turn? He responded, short, I think the college baseball coach with no MLB experience is a bad hire. It's destined to fail and undermine Posey's entire administration. Again, this is coming from Barry Bloom. I didn't expect that, but well, there you go. So I'm reaching out to a few people. Why not? I want to hear
a bad hire.
I want to hear what other people have to say, and I had the privilege of being, being able to interact with some of these guys. So hey, I reached out to him on Twitter, and he responded to me. So there you go. Take it for what it's worth.
You always like that, interacting, getting everybody.
I do. I like talking to people. I like talking about baseball.
Want me to get Chardall on the line for you?
That's your guy.
You can. No, I always. Hey, you know what? Lou, every time we get Chardall in now, this is me.
Chardall and Robert Rothberg.
Oh, man, that's funny. So there you go.
Hey, Eric, you're doing the right thing. I mean, he is a baseball Hall of Famer. He's probably a lot smarter than all three of us combined. And, that's the way he thinks. And, again.
And again, it's his opinion, right?
Yep.
I'm not saying I don't like the idea. I just don't.
I can't believe we spent over an hour back-to-back nights talking about the manager, Eric.
I know. Well, it's going to be. That's the big news. That's the big news of Giants baseball. That's the problem. The skepticism is convincing it. And you know what? I'm not trying to convince, Rob. I'm just giving my take. You could believe whatever you want. You could go out there and say Eddie Goodell could have been the bestest manager that has ever blessed major leagues. You could. It's your take.
I'll take Connie Mack.
I'm just telling you where I am. And look, I don't like it, period. And just because the Giants go out and hire him doesn't mean I still have to like it. That's the way I am. I got my own mind. I got my own thoughts. Just because the Giants go out there and hire a manager that I don't care for. And look, he could go out there and succeed. He could go out there and win 100 games. And you know what? I will still say I didn't like the hire because that's just me. You guys could. And look, and everyone could go out there and whoever says, I want Vitello, that's fine. That's fantastic. And if he succeeds, great. I'll give you a cookie. I mean,
but these are the same people that said Nick Hundley. Nick Hundley's a shoo-in.
I know.
He's great with people. He gives good high fives and good firm handshake.
Yeah, I know what that is. Fun dip.
I'm into the fun dip tonight.
He's into the fun dip.
Yeah, I'm into the fun dip.
I mean,
call it what you may, Insane. Don't care. I just don't like it. Period. Just me.
You're celebrating.
Because I'm tired. I'm tired of the craziness in Giants baseball over the last 3 years. How many managers have we gone through? How many Pobos have we gone through in just a matter of 3 years? I'm done, man. We're going on our third manager in 4 years.
I'm having purple.
Come on.
Yeah.
Something's wrong. Something is wrong. I'll root for the Giants. I want them to win, but it doesn't mean I have to go out there and say I agree with that hire. Period. What's wrong with that? Is there something? If I want my San Francisco Giants to go out there and be in the playoffs next year, I'm rooting for them. That's what I want. That's the goal. I want them to win the World Series. But I could sit there at the same token. I could sit there and say I don't like that they made that move. Kill me. It's an opinion. Period. End of story.
Guys,
I changed my mind.
If we're doing a show tomorrow night, Eric, and I don't show up, you just don't hear from me during the day. It may be because this Fun Dip.
It's good stuff, man.
That's before May 2016.
Well, and again, it's not probably the sugar. It's in Canada. You have the 2 white sticks. Those white sticks.
That's what it is.
Double sticker.
That is like solid sugar. What's up, Miles? Hey, thank you. Appreciate that. Having a great night. Baseball, man. We had an awesome Game 7. We were bandying about what's going to happen with the San Francisco Giants. And again, I said this a million times, and I'll say it again. Lou, this is going to be a hell of an offseason for San Francisco Giants fans. It's going to be constant talk, whether it's manager, whether it's players. It's going to be fun, man.
We may not agree. World Series, Eric. Come on.
And, Eric, it's sort of funny because we're worried right now about a manager. Once free agency starts.
Yeah, buddy, that's where it matters.
And then the owners' meetings, we just have a lot to look forward to by the end of the year. And, that's what's good where you guys have one topic. Baseball doesn't die. It's going to be exciting.
Yep. It's going to be good stuff, man. I'm looking forward to it. I am. I'm really looking forward to it. Again, I may not agree. I may agree. Who knows? But, hey. All we want is the San Francisco Giants to be relevant and get into the damn playoffs, man. Freddie Peralta, yeah. We're going to get ready to get out of here pretty soon. But yes, Freddie Peralta supposedly may be available for a trade. So there's going to be a bunch of pitching. Look, you got Tariq Skubal may get traded. You got Freddie Peralta may be traded. And then, of course, you got the other guy. Who knows what Miami's going to do with Alcantara? We don't know what the Minnesota Twins are going to do with Joe Ryan. St. Louis with Sonny Gray. I mean, it's going to. And then, of course, the free agents. Framber Valdez, Ranger Suarez, Dylan Cease.
Sonny Gray. How old is he?
He's up there. He's like, 35, 36, something like that,
that's
right?
all we need. You better not hear Sonny Gray's name. As soon as I hear 35-year-old pitcher and they go, we got to get him, I'll be all over you guys like.
Oh, my gosh.
I'm telling you.
All right.
Let's telling you. You know what's going to come to fruition, Eric.
Yeah.
Yeah, I said don't hire. I said
Hunter Green. Beto. Yes, sir. Hunter Green's also.
Tomoyuki Sagano, Eric. He's 35. And everybody shit on that. No, he can't get a 35-year-old. So what do we go? A week later, we go get a 42-year-old. And then the chat defended it. I can't win, Lou.
Oh, by the way.
I gotta go have my sugar. See you guys. What are we on
hold
again?
On 1 second. Oh, I don't know. What about maybe Wednesday? What about Wednesday?
A midweek show, and then Friday afternoon we're going to do our tee-up show.
Wednesday we could do maybe. How about we do this? How about Wednesday we do a series preview, and then, well, yeah, we'll take a day off tomorrow, a show on Wednesday, day off on Thursday, and be ready to rock and roll on Friday night with the first game of the World Series. Sound good?
And Ian will be working on your project at 9 a.m. tomorrow.
The who and the what and the where?
Ian.
Oh, and gotcha. I know where you're going with that. Now we got the.
Yep.
Oh, baby.
He's going to have a lot of things in the basket, so it'll be fresh.
Yeah.
What do you see, Lou, with GiantSports.com Live got lined up this week?
Excited.
Oh, my gosh. But,
so
by the way, yes. Oh, that's a fact. Come on, Insane. Yeah, if any news drops about the San Francisco Giants manager, we will be live. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
That is a fact. So, yes, we will be here, Insane. Do it all over again.
Appreciate you, Lou.
Thanks, Lou.
Thank you, guys.
In the mail.
Always a
checks
pleasure.
In the mail.
Always a pleasure.
Checks in the mail. I know why you like it's a pleasure, because checks in the mail.
All right, guys. Hey, be good out there. Remember, We're all striving for the same. We get heated. We have a lot of emotion, but we all want the same thing. We want Giants baseball to be relevant. Let's go. Come on.
And for Insane to calm down. Oh, by the way, Jays beat Seattle tonight if you're just joining us late. So it's World Series, Dodgers, Blue Jays kicks off Friday night in the Great White North.
508.
You've been watching Giant Sports Talk Live with Eric and Glenn, a Northern Lights Entertainment Broadcasting production.
This place is ready to explode. One pitch away. Hoffman sets 2-2 to Julio Rodriguez. In the dirt, full count. If you think you're anxious, Cal Raleigh is begging to get a shot in the on-deck circle. He would be the go-ahead run. Full count, 2 outs, top of the ninth. Game 7 of the ALCS. Hoffman's payoff pitch. He got it! The Blue Jays win the pennant! The Blue Jays win the pennant! They're going to the World Series! It's so good, we must be dreaming! The Toronto Blue Jays come back, knock off the Mariners, and they will take on the LA Dodgers!